Hey, go check us out on the podcast Less Than 2000, where Eric and I made a guest appearance. We went on there to discuss the classic Transformers, the movie from 1986. So go hear our takes on a movie from 1986. Greenlit Podcast Network, Less Than 2000 Podcast. Go out there, subscribe to it. We're on there on the March 18th episode. Thank you. Hi-ho, Eric.
Hi-ho, Chris.
Retrograde Amnesia is a member of the Greenlit Podcast Network, a coalition of creator-owned podcasts focused on video gaming, entertainment, and pop culture. Go to greenlitpodcast.com to find out about all the great shows on the network.
You know what? Thank you for telling me.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure that you knew that. Also, Eric, we have Patreon page. It's at patreon.com/retroam. You can go there. What can you get there? Do you remember?
URLs.
No, what can you get there if you go and you give $3 or more?
Mini episodes, bonus episodes, Discord access, RealNet access.
And?
You can DM Chris twice.
Eric, would you like to hear some hot sounds that I have recorded?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast where we discuss classic JRPGs, chapter by chapter, beat by beat. In this series, we are covering Chrono Cross. Tonight, we head towards the future that we never knew. The future where we did not start this podcast. The future where the fake net was never born.
Initializing fake net.
I knew that blasphemy was coming, which is why I preemptively denied your audience the full intro song. No such dimension exists, Crisp.
My name is Chris. I'm joined tonight by Eric. Hey, Eric.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Hey, good to see you again. We are also joined tonight by the RealNet, a collective of patrons who are listening to us record live. You too can join the RealNet and listen to us record live if you go to patreon.com/retroam and give us money.
We are also joined by the Fake Net, our post-production AI companion and former regulator.
Initializing fake net.
If you think Nate Dogg is good at making bodies turn cold, wait until you see what I can do.
Regulator of what? Just all-purpose regulator?
What did Nate Dogg and Warren G regulate?
We regulate any stealing of his property. We're damn good, too.
I guess so.
But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
Thank you, FakeNet, for joining us tonight. Let us continue this podcast with you, FakeNet, because you are the cornerstone. You are the linchpin of this podcast, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, I don't know, thanks.
Eric, we're heading to a new chapter. It's called The Dead Sea. Did you know that? It's called The Dead Sea.
Yes, we're already there, actually.
Yes, we're there. And funny you should say that, because is the subtitle of this chapter A Future Frozen in Time, a place forsaken by the gods, or the future that refused to change?
Future that refused to change is too on the nose. I'm going to go future frozen in time.
Buzzer noise.
Fuck.
Wrong.
Really?
The
What is
correct
it?
answer is a place forsaken by the gods, which makes no sense because this game only deals in dragon gods and
I mean,
nothing
that's
else.
basically our podcast studio, right?
Yeah. The future that refused to change was a reference to I think when you lose to Lavos in Chrono Trigger, the game over screen says the future refused to change or something of that
But the
nature.
future refused to change?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So,
But you're still hungry?
yes, also I'm still hungry. We're at death's door. Not literally, but in this video game, we're at death's door. We are ready to proceed to the Dead Sea. We have removed the evil sword, the Masamune.
When he removed it, did he destroy it or put it in his pocket?
It's shattered.
Okay, that's
Yes,
right.
I
yeah.
think I think at some point it's going to come back in a different form or something, but I don't quite remember how that works.
We get something brand new up here as the new song Dead Sea / Tower of Destruction plays.
Yes, also known as Dead Sea Tower of Gedon.
Who's getting?
Yes, it's the name of the tower.
Okay, great.
Like Armageddon.
I get it. Cool.
The Dead Sea, the music, it opens with the same 3-note melody that was used in the Chrono Trigger song Sealed Door.
Initializing fake net.
I am going to play Chrono Cross, then Chrono Trigger, then overlay them both.
And that was actually a Matsu song, so go figure. Also, that melody, I think, was used on those... I'm sure you don't remember, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
Yeah.
But those sealed doors that you couldn't open without the pendant, and it would make that little chime that you couldn't get in there. Nope. Yep.
It's gone. It's all gone.
Okay. Well, anyway, that chime I think is kind of similar to that as well. So yes, a little bit of a callback there. I've made a party change here.
Okay.
I've taken out a weak-ass Radius because his HP is low and it's bothering me.
Yeah.
And I've subbed in Vaughn. Now, this would later become a mistake, but I thought that maybe Vaughn would be cool because he has cool boomerangs, and I think he can hit multiple enemies.
So the child boy who's a tour guide who has no fighting experience, you've put him in to go to the end of the world.
Yes, that was a decision that I made.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Chrono Cross. It enables you to make these decisions.
Yes, and none of it matters. So once we go into the cave, we are looking out into a parted sea.
Yeah, it's an image of a frozen sea parting on behalf of our party. The emerald green seabed is slowly engulfed on the horizon, but there is an image of a massive tower off in the distance.
Yes, there's fog drifting across the sky, and it looks like everything is frozen in time. It's not just a parted sea, but it is a paused parted sea.
Dead, if you will.
Yes, you could say that. In my case, Norris and Vaughn note that the waves are at a standstill. One of them says, the treacherous ocean, the earth, the condemned dragon gods. It is all not that bad, which I have no idea what that means, but thank you for referencing the condemned dragon gods. It's great. It's great of you to do that, Norris.
In my case, Irene, who I put in my party, concluded the earth had been condemned by the dragon gods. And she also says she feels like she's living a nightmare. And I don't know if that's because she's suddenly in combat situations, because she's with Lynx, or because she's here.
Yes. She just decided she offered her help, and then all of a sudden she's here. I don't know if she quite knew what her end of the bargain was going to have to be there.
Yeah, well, wouldn't be the first time.
But yes, now we are on to a world map type area. It is a world map within a world map. How many times have you ever seen that happen?
Well, technically, El Nido or Arnie.
Yeah, that's true.
Termina.
Yeah,
like that's all kind of a world map within a world map where we're walking around spaces. But there's actually enemies on this world map.
Yeah, it's weird.
And treasure chests. I feel like this was the product of negotiation, and someone had to lose on what this was supposed to be. Like, I'm pretty sure these were all supposed to be like linked, like a big giant dungeon. But Chrono Cross does not deal in big giant dungeons. So we get interconnected, world-mapped dungeons.
So do you think that somebody wanted to put a huge, entire game in here?
Yeah, man. I have no evidence for that, but that seems like the ambition Chrono Cross is trying to bite off for a little while.
It does feel like that, because you're right. This game doesn't have very any at all, large dungeons. And when I stepped into this place, my memory of this was as this place being somewhere huge, somewhere that took half the evening to get through. But it only takes 20 minutes to get through this thing.
Yeah, or 4 hours if you're taking notes on everything.
I'm trying to control for that variable, although it can be hard to do these days. What's your hour count now, by the way?
48.
Yeah, mine's at 47.
Yeah.
So
I went back to I recently looked at my old save the first time I played this game 20 years ago, because I still have that because I'm me. Mm-hmm. I was at 36 hours for a complete game.
Oh, okay. Well, here we are doing this podcast in a future that we chose.
Yeah.
The enemies out here, they're little gremlin dudes.
I have them written down later, but from memory, I think they're called gremlins, and they are absolutely gremlins.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I thought about it, too. The first actual sub-location that we go into is the Highway Ruins.
Yes.
This is a series of destroyed future highways that we can navigate across both screens to get a few good items, most notably another free-fall element.
Yes, and as soon as you get the free fall element, you free fall through the floor.
Yeah, that's true.
It's awesome.
There's skyscrapers here. They appear to be from a future city, like Neo-Tokyo-ass looking things.
It is very future city, and the type of futurism here is all very rounded edges, sans serif, big puffy late 90s lettering, just the iMac influence of making everything big and fluorescent was not lost on Chrono Cross.
Yeah, and it's a lot to take in this game if it's your first time heading to this part, because to this point, everything's either been tropical or inside of a physical dungeon that felt like it should be there. This is just crazy and weird, and this is maybe one of the first hints that you get that, hey, this is it is a game that is also playing with the concept of time being frozen in a spot. So
do you think this is Lost Civilization from far ago, transposed from different dimension, or just this area of the world had far greater technology than everyone else, like Esther in Final Fantasy VIII, just kept to themselves and then got ruined?
I think it's pretty obviously a future city from very early on. And there's actually a little Chrono Trigger reference here that would give you that hint and kind of completely tip you off. You can see on the first screen the wreckage of Johnny.
Yes, Johnny Bot.
The racing robot guy from Chrono Trigger who you had to race in some dumbass minigame.
Yeah.
Actually, dumbass minigame isn't fair. It was actually a pretty good minigame.
Yeah, at the time.
Mode 7S.
But you're
racing.
right. His corpse, you don't really... There's a lot of... Due to the low resolution of Chrono Cross, I think it runs at 240p. It's hard to make out what the details are, but if you take a picture of Johnny and look at that passed out corpse next to it, you can definitely tell that's what he is.
Yeah.
So also, we're on this freeway, and I see that it is a covered walkway that leads to the freeway, but then it leads to an off-ramp. And what do they use these freeways for?
Cars?
Yeah, but you don't walk up to the best I can picture is the cars are automated, and you just walk up those walkways and board one.
Yeah. But there is kind of a little, one of the enemies, one of those what we call them, geos, the little
Geos, yeah.
orange ghost-looking guys.
Mhm.
It's like lost spirits or something. There is one of those in some little pod off to the side. I don't know if that was supposed to be a car or something, or a boat. It was hard to say.
There's like one of the cars is like a green roller coaster car.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what kind of car technology existed here. Although any kind of sufficiently advanced future society doesn't have people actually operating cars anymore.
Yeah, that's
Fucking
true.
gasoline cars, no way.
So those geos, most of the time that you encounter them, they're by themselves or with maybe one other guy. So I had brought Vaughn here because I think somebody told us that Vaughn had multi-target with his boomerang, and I didn't run into any enemies. Multi-targets.
Cool.
So Vaughn got retired shortly after that, but I think we'll talk about that later.
While we're talking about the geos, they did an element attack to me called Heart Color. Do you know what that did?
No.
Because it didn't affect me at all.
No, I'm not sure.
Rats.
Fake net.
Fake net, what's Heart Color do?
Initializing fake net.
Heart color allows the user to inflict status effects equal to a selected target's innate color. For instance, if the target's innate color is that of green, they will be afflicted with both the poison and afraid status effects. I, on the other hand, am afraid of nothing.
Thank you.
These guys kind of look like translucent inflatable tube men.
Yes.
A little bit,
like,
kind of.
They're not like tube size, but they are kind of like the box for Earthbound, whatever that thing is.
Okay, cool.
So on the frozen waves over to the right side is a silly putty creature walking around in a boat. That's a Geos.
Yeah.
And there's another joyously romping up the covered walkway, then rolling back in laughter when he makes it to the top. And Chris, I love mischievous ghosts.
Do you?
Like, it's one of the reasons why I think Luigi's Mansion works so well, is I like it when ghosts are like menacing and threatening, but also like to have fun. I mean, we still beat the shit out of them and kill them here at this place where they live in peace and harmony. But,
yes.
You know.
You a big Gengar guy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, I
good.
love Gengar. More of a Haunter fan, honestly, but Gengar's all right.
Cool.
Did they keep teleporting in front of you when you were stopping to take notes?
No.
They did to me. Like, I always felt like I was running into those things.
Oh. I think I took notes while I was idling during the boss battle.
The boss battle is actually on the first screen, but you can proceed to the second screen from here.
Yes.
It can be accessed from above or below, albeit above leads right to the boss fight against the Highwayman.
Mm-hmm.
Some stairs on the left side lead to more World of Tomorrow attractions.
Yeah.
Including a tower with a Geos and a screw in it.
Where's the people mover?
Yeah, right. It's wrecked and abandoned. This spits out to a walkway over the highway and then down to a nice 90s set of concrete stairs. That exits back out to the lower level of the highway of the first screen.
Mm-hmm.
And my next comment is, LOL, this ruined paradise is just as effective as The Last of Us at selling a convincing world all on a single screen.
Yeah.
Games have been consumed by the pointless excess to try and justify the validity of the medium. The PS1 should have been the last console, and rant.
Anything else of note before we fight this little boss guy?
No, that's all I've got before we fought the Highwayman.
Yes, the Highwayman is a Johnny-faced mechon with tank treads.
What type of mechon is that? I've never seen one like it.
Gale plays for some reason.
Yes, this is. I guess this is not actually a boss.
Yeah.
I don't think you get a star for it either.
He's a steel giant, Chris.
Yes.
My
indeed.
guy either has 4 extremely wide tires or a set of 8 down there.
Yeah.
One hand is a massive buzzsaw and the other is a socket wrench. 4 exhaust pipes are vibrating above his back. 2 motorcycle engines are in his bed area along with 2 massive tailpipes. He looks huge in the pull-in shot in the game when it all zooms in and shit like that.
Yeah.
But really, my guy is about the same height as Lynx. Also, he has a yellow mohawk and purple Macho Man sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're not clear, this is like a sentient car.
I guess.
Like a collection of car parts that has assumed life and given him a rad 80s mohawk.
Did this thing exist before this place was destroyed and crushed, or was it created because of the collapse?
Oh, you want a headcanon this? Okay. All of the automated car technology on that thing magnetized to each other and coalesced in some kind of reboot program and lived to form the Highwayman, the guardian of the highway. This is his realm and his territory now. The ghosts and him are friendly with each other. But the Highwayman provides protection against anything that comes, any external threat, like Lynx and his friends, right?
Okay, I could buy that, but doesn't the Highwayman also need to be possessed by ghosts? Because everything else is frozen except for ghosts.
This isn't true. There's computer technology later that is also not frozen.
Oh, yeah.
So the AI controls of those cars that all coalesce to form the Highwayman have combined their power and energy. And he's been sitting there, like, idle for so long. Like, he's in standby mode.
Just waiting
right?
to beat ass?
Yeah. And he's probably solar powered, right? So he's got an infinite energy source right there.
Okay.
So that's what's happening.
Thanks, Eric. I'm glad we went there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's fight this guy. He's very annoying.
Yeah.
He has a skill called exhaust gas.
Yeah. He advances toward our party, shoots out gas at the top of his tailpipes, and then rolls coal out the back tailpipes.
Yeah, it really lowers your accuracy.
Everyone is engulfed in a pink haze.
Yeah.
It's darkness.
Not a hard time, but it took me a long time to beat this guy.
Yeah.
Especially because I had Vaughn with me still.
His other attack is Rampage, where he fucks everybody up, and he's smoking me so bad I have to run away and regroup. Dude, I barely got by big time. Thank you to Sparky and his Ultranova element.
Sparky? Who's Sparky?
That's what my autocorrect did to Starkey.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, wait, am I confused? Did you rename Draggy, not tell me?
So as it dies, this stupid thing starts shooting out yellow sparks before it raises its hands into the air, allowing explosions to burst out of its chest. As it dies, its hands fall slack down to its sides, and its head tilts before cutting to a video effect of an explosion. 25th star.
Yes. Oh, it is a star battle. Okay. I forgot. So, yeah, great. So now we can proceed back to that world map area, right?
Yeah, but let's talk about, because this is when I first noticed Johnny.
Oh, okay.
What's he doing here? Was this before, like, did the Highwayman kill Johnny when Johnny tried to step up?
I think the answer is in what we're told later, but this future, like, Johnny no longer exists once Chrono Trigger was completed because the apocalypse future was removed.
Well, it's unique that you say he doesn't exist, Chris, because he's right here.
Well, we'll get to that later.
Can't fool me.
I can't explain this because I'm not wearing a bucket hat currently.
Okay.
So, my first note on the world map on this next section is Vaughn sucks. Let's go with Zappa. And I decided to do something kind of fun with Zappa.
Zappa.
I'm building him around the concept of him being spec'd to do high physical damage and then use elements like weaken, strengthen, and another red element called 99, which raises your attack percentages to 99.
Yes.
For a limited amount of time. Because his magic stat is pretty low, but his physical is close to Lynx's. So he's pretty strong. And Norris is OP as well because of the space gun. So I'm going with a high physical damage crew here, which is not something I've really done with before.
Yeah, but that's pretty strategic. My general path is to do one round of physical attacks and then use those massive elements that I trap to just wipe everybody.
Yeah, I mean, that works too in a lot of cases. But I knew that we were having a tough battle coming up here, so I wanted to try something a little bit different.
Yes, of course. You're making the most of your video game Chrono Cross.
Yes, of course. So next, we can go to the city ruins.
Yes.
This is a snowy Neo-Tokyo-ass city with robo-duckies.
God, yeah, the robo-duck. I fought one of those in the world map before.
Yeah,
They are robot chickens, and it looks dumb as hell.
Yeah.
Its head has a spinning antenna, and its tail is rotating, not spinning, fan. It also has haunting red eyes. Shit, dude, it also has Simpsons hand dishwashing gloves aimlessly dangling out of its chest. Somebody wants to fuck this thing. It never attacked me. Starkey smoked it.
I mean, do you have any headcanon for this one, Eric?
They drop screws, and gosh, I need screws. Yeah, when the AI that assembled all the cars back together, like the spare parts of that, the AI saw all this water out there and they decided that it needed a rubber ducky from the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 2 demo in the future, because we're playing with time here, right?
Yeah.
And then it built this out of mechanicized parts, and the rubber glove hands were also like part of the dishwashing thing in the big water muck.
Can we talk about how you just said mechanicized?
Yeah, sure. Did I say that? I have no memory of saying that.
I think it's mechanized.
Mechanized.
You said mechanicized.
These are two different words.
It was an archipelago
archipelago
situation for you.
Well, no, Chris. When a mechanic does something to rubber ducky, he mechanicizes it.
Okay. All right. I'm leaving
mechanized.
That in. All right. Okay. Well, I accept that headcanon as well.
Did you find any of these things?
Yeah. I beat their asses.
Smoke them.
This is when I discovered that Zappa was good.
So city ruins, right?
Yeah.
The water is frozen here as if it was splashing down some rapids, lending this area a wintry white atmosphere. The waves have overtaken most of the buildings, and robo-ducks run around the premises.
Yes, they do.
There is a red light in one of the towers off to the left, suggesting some level of activity, or at least a beacon the player is intended to head toward. But I liked this screen a lot because it diverged from your usual path of a dungeon and just did this big, like, vertical layout of a waterfall to walk your way down.
It's pretty obvious where you should go here because that, like, as you said, that one building has kind of a flickering screen above it, doesn't it? And you ready to go in there?
Yeah, we climb the ladder up to it, and it takes us to a completely different screen of the building's interior. Inside of this Big Joe shop-ass Zeboim tower are a bunch of empty crates and packing materials. Frozen water is rushing in from the broken windows. In the center, either below a darkened window or a massive monitor, is a flashing red button. Chris, let's push that button.
Yeah, let's push the button. This screen in front of us looks like the screen that Chrono and friends first discovered Lavos on, so cool, huh?
As soon as I push the button, our party auto-walks into place, and Norris, who I promised I would take here and promptly never put in my actual party, walks in from behind. What's about to happen may be Norris's only purpose in this video game.
Could be. Well, no, I think he has one more purpose, but I had Norris, Zappa, and Lynx, and...
Did he go right to it, or did he greet you first?
He said, "Can you give me a minute, sir?" was the first thing he said to me.
He walked up to me and said, "What is it, sir?" Like I actually asked for him. He wants to be in this video game so bad.
So does Lynx have like a
retort?
A button that he can press to summon
Norris?
Or summon whoever he needs for the situation? I did. This is the I got really confused because I was like, well, what if you don't bring Norris? So I went and checked the script, and there was no other party here. But then we came to find out that Norris pops out of nowhere.
Chrono Cross is pretty good about pulling party-relevant members out whenever they're absolutely required. So we step aside and he approaches the controls. Norris notes that a lot of strange things are happening here, but this power source is still active. Quote, so many strange things happening here. The power source is still active. And I repeated that because he next says, I do have knowledge of electrical engineering. Can you give me a minute, sir? Yeah. I love the phrase, I do have knowledge of electrical engineering.
I read this as I do not have knowledge of electrical engineering. And then he kept going and I was like, wait a minute. Did I write that down wrong?
Why are you here, Norris?
What is going on? If we were to evaluate all the characters that we have, who has the most knowledge of electrical engineering? I think it's Starkey, right? This should be...
No, Starkey uses some I bet Starkey's ship is a bunch of fucking gel that he pushes around to control things. There's no circuitry in that thing.
He uses a PlayStation Move to...
Yes, yeah, that's what he does. He directs it like an air traffic controller.
Okay, that works for me. So yeah, I guess Norris would be the one. He's the most qualified person here because he's a high-ranking military member.
Can I add a terminology to the entirety of Retrograde Amnesia?
Sure.
So in Hackers, there became, the movie Hackers, hack the Gibson was a phrase about performing an impossible task.
Yeah.
Like the goal of the movie. And I think whenever a character shows up to do computer hacking, we should call it hacking the ethos.
Okay, yeah. Hacking with your friends as well.
Yeah, hacking with your friends.
Hacking with your friends in the ethos, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what we're doing here.
So Norris hacks the ethos.
He does. And he mashes these buttons and gets us some information. Eric.
Yeah, what's up?
Of course, this is Lavos information. It is a view of a fiery parasite emerging from the ground, raining fire on the exact buildings that we're seeing in this area. Then some text pops up on the screen. It says, 2300 AD Lithosphere Investigation Report. And I should add that 2300 AD was a travelable point in Chrono Trigger that you could go to. It says, report number 27, unknown life force, parasitic to the planet. Geologic stratum result, 65 million BC code, Lavos.
When it says Lavos is the moment when the drugs kick in if you're young Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. In the same way that the drugs kicked in on the Masamune part, they're kicking in here because not only are we getting two specific time points from Chrono Trigger, that's the 2300 AD and the 65 million BC, we're getting some actual Lavos conversation.
Norris notes that this is a ruin from the future, while Starkey asks him to download more info about the world.
Yeah. In my case, Zappa said, Norris, can you download some more information about this world? Eric, question.
No, download is not in Zappa's vocabulary.
Yeah.
It is definitely not.
So I want you to think about the characters that we have right now in the Lynx party, not across the game. Which ones know the word download? Could use it? I think Starkey maybe could know it.
I'm going to pull one out, and you're going to say it's not possible, but I know in my heart it's possible.
Okay.
Skelly. He's dead, Chris. He's been to the afterlife.
Okay, that's true. In essence, he has downloaded re-downloaded his soul into his skeleton.
Yeah, into his body. I'm going to say Sprig probably knows it, because the temporal vortex, there's probably some internet in there somewhere.
Yeah, so, okay, yeah, that works for me.
Do you have any guesses? Who knows download?
No, I was going to... The only one I was thinking was Starkey. That's pretty much the only one that I could think of.
You're being too analog.
Yeah, true. Okay. Norris then continues and pulls up more information. It says, slumbering beneath the deep crust. When Lavos awakes, this planet will...
Give us some answers. Instead, the screen dies.
Yep. The power supply has gone out.
Irene's is very upset.
We cannot learn more information about Lavos, but Eric, I'm glad that you asked about Lavos because I know a lot about it. Would you like me to tell you about Lavos from the Chrono Trigger perspective?
Yes, make up for Norris's regret about not being able to learn more about Lavos.
We already know this from this information, but Lavos is a parasitic life form that landed on the Earth millions of years ago, in 65 million BC to be exact. There's a couple of things in Chrono Trigger where something was written in the North American script, and then it became canon for the Japanese fandom as well. So this is one of those moments. In the North American version, it indicates that Lavos harnessed the power of the planet to suit its growth, basically controlling evolution so that it could harness the most amount of power possible.
That doesn't make any sense, Chris.
Well, it didn't make any sense to the original writers of this game because it wasn't in the Japanese script, but it is in the North American script, so it's a little strange. Also, Lavos apparently invented magic. That was how humans became sensitive to the idea of magic. Not elements, but magic. Lavos was summoned at 2 different points within history, or 3 different points actually. So it was summoned in 12,000 BC by Queen Zeal, using the Mammon machine to summon it to harness its power. That was an abject failure. It was also summoned in 600 AD by Magus, because Magus' ultimate goal was to summon Lavos and kill it.
And he deserved death.
And he failed, obviously. And then Lavos, of course, as we know, emerged in 1999 and destroyed the world.
It also emerged in 1990 when Naoto Oshima birthed Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, sure. Great. Okay. So anyway, that is our Lavos lore if you're a Chrono Trigger player heading into this moment.
This was a cruel tease. My immediate response to this whole sequence was, come on, video game, you have to start giving us more than this.
Yeah, that
and
is
it
true.
will. It will very shortly.
It assumes a lot right here. These past 2 sequences with the Masamune and with this Lavos moment assume that you've played Chrono Trigger. And
again, a lot of the backstory we read about this was the development team was worried that players wouldn't remember a game from 5 years ago on a different console. Now that is a crazy thought to believe, but back then they didn't want to tie it too closely.
Can you imagine a huge blockbuster RPG getting a sequel in 5 years now?
Oh god, yeah. Jesus.
You know?
I mean, the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy, those aren't necessarily sequels, but they are closely tied together and share assets and stuff like that.
That's true.
There were also accidents.
Yes. So next, are you ready to head out?
Yeah, in the same area, there's another building with a red light off to the right, but it has no interior. What's inside there, Chris?
I don't remember.
Kung Fu shoes.
Oh, yeah.
They raise evasion by 12%.
Oh, that's pretty good.
There's also a resistance belt and a stamina ring in here somewhere.
Cool.
So we've already talked about battling Roboducks, but during the battles, the stage of death infuses more ruined future buildings in the background than the highway, but it shifts the background from the road to pure ice.
Oh, cool.
So it's like a remix of the previous battle screen.
Nice.
And then we're back to the world map.
Yes, and then I think you can get something out here. I don't remember what the treasure chest was, but you can get one more thing. Fight some more enemies if you want to, and then you head to our final destination of this area.
Here's where I found the gremlins. They're crouched down like a baseball catcher, but with their hands on their knees exposing their full dick and balls that have been mercifully deleted. They are also rocking back and forth with their tongues hanging out of their gross mouths.
Ew.
These are disgusting.
Ew.
Absolutely gross. Also, they poison everyone with Toxie because, of course, they're poison.
Yes. You can also find a variant of these in the homeworld Fort Dragonia. I found out later.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When you went to go get Draggy?
Yes. So, yes, of course, our next destination is the Tower of Gedon. Gedon? Armageddon. Armageddon.
FakeNet, how do you say it?
Initializing FakeNet.
Just said Gedon. It's Gedon.
I think it's based on Armageddon. I tried to see if there was any etymology behind this one, but I don't think it's anything other than just a play on the word Armageddon.
No, it makes sense. That movie came out summer of 98, so they would have had time to watch the Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck, Owen Wilson classic.
Classic is a strong word to use there, but okay. So as we enter, the party notes this tower seems to be the center of the Dead Sea. It seems as if chunks of buildings and vehicles have become fused together to form the tower. Immediately, the camera pans upward, like this is Magus's castle.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go inside.
Well, when it goes upward, it reveals either the giant Colgate clock or a formidable jet engine. At the very top is some kind of sign. It reads Company X 2400.
Yes.
Starkey says all the buildings have melted into a giant conglomeration, which Chris just said.
Yes. Starkey said it better than I, so I appreciate you, Starkey.
We then enter what appears to be a shopping mall.
Yes, I wrote that this is a mall from Will Smith's iRobot.
Nice.
Not Asimov's iRobot, but Will Smith's iRobot.
Very different things.
Yeah, that version. Then we get an even better look at that in the real-time render during the battle sequences here, because because I thought, oh, this kind of looks like a mall, but once you get the real-time render during the battle, you can see all the storefronts.
Yeah,
and stuff
stores
like
are lit up with purple and orange lights in the background of that battle screen.
Yes, and of course the most abject mall enemy that there is of course a floating mannequin.
It's a zombie mannequin, man. Yeah. It's a Dawn of the Dead commentary, right? It's all just zombies in malls, man.
Yeah, these are called mannequeens.
They're walking on the premises. The center of the mall has a pair of opposing stairways with the same translucent orange roof shielding seen by the highways. But yeah, the mannequins, I think they're the only unique enemy in this part. They're basically the zombies. They're capable of countering both physical and elemental attacks, depending on what pose they're currently in. The physical attack pose is a slight bend in the arm with the shoulder twisted forward. The elemental pose is straight back, left hand on the hip, right hand dangling free. These things look like the fake net.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, they kind of do.
Well, you both look like gremlins.
Yes, and my next comment is, yes, dude, please give me more 30-second attacks where they slowly walk forward and bash me. I love this shit.
Yes.
Also, Chris, this is where I did Starkey's Starman element attack. It's summoned to gear. I called him Starkey again, didn't I? I wrote Starkey the entire time. I'm going to keep doing that.
His name is Starkey.
Damn it.
It's not Sparky. It's Starkey.
Anyway.
So what's the element called?
It's called Starman.
Oh,
and it summons a gear.
Oh, wow. Like
just
a completely bipedal robot?
Yeah.
Wow. Cool. Awesome. So, yeah, you see, he does have knowledge of electrical engineering. He's got a fucking robot.
You don't know that. No, just called it a gear. I must defend my earlier point.
He also controls this with the PlayStation Move controller, apparently. Are you ready to proceed to the second screen?
Not quite. I mean, none of these stores, there's a bunch of stores here. It is very central mall food court where there's an escalator and then multiple sets of stores in like a half semicircle.
Yeah.
And none of these stores are accessible. And the mithril in the corner is cool, but not as cool after the mannequins give out 5 of them.
Yeah.
And I wish I could go in some of these stores. I want to see what pointless shit and consumer garbage the citizens of this future past of the year 2000 wanted to buy in this world.
Yeah, that's in the 20. I almost said 2010, but it's we're way past that. In the 2041 Chrono Cross remake, we can go in all these shops.
Yeah, I can't. It would just give me the Dead Rising version of it. Please.
Yeah.
My second screen is the train station.
I missed the train station, I guess.
All right, Chris, let's talk about the train station.
Okay.
It's a bloody scene off to the immediate left. A Geos is standing in the corner. I guess those can talk too. It speaks to us and says, with dashes between each word, "It is time. You must go. You will miss the train." And then it walks away. I follow it up the stairs and it makes the save point noise and tells me there is something on the ground. I inspect it and I got the station pass. Did you do any of this?
No.
It was off to the right side in that first screen.
Oh, okay.
A purify element is on top of this crashed out train. There's a duct that looks like a pathway, but it's too slippery and I can't go up it. At the top of this area are some turnstiles, which, guess what? The station pass I got grants me access to.
Cool.
On the top left wall are some large posters showcasing impossible to read items. I swear the one on the right is for a Hot Pocket.
Okay.
Which at the time I was heavily invested in.
Yeah.
And then finally there is a holy light element through a gate down an engine. So basically, Chris just missed out on a holy light element.
Damn. Yeah, because I saw that the guide that I was following, that we're both following, mentioned a holy light, and I thought you could only have that if you trapped it. So I fucked up. Eric.
There's also a third screen that you missed. From that second screen Chris missed is actually a third screen. It's a balcony that overlooks a crumbling and absolutely ruined walkway. There is a medical book in the corner, which allows Doc to learn his level 7 tech.
You can't have Doc here.
Yeah, but you can get like his shit for later.
Oh, fuck. Damn it.
Yeah.
I was planning on using Doc later.
Not anymore, dude. You can't come back here. I wonder if there's like a repository for all the stuff you missed. Probably not. It's probably too early for a game to do stuff like that.
Shit.
Take a time machine back to before the world went to hell, around the year 2000.
The 80s and 90s were so rad. The movies, the music, the TV, the games, that's what I want to talk about.
If you're cool enough,
join us and listen to Less Than 2000, because that's all we talk about.
Adam and Chad live less than 2000.
Hey, that promo you just heard, Less Than 2000, Eric and I are on an episode of that podcast. Go check it out. We're on the episode where they discuss the classic Transformers movie from 1986. We go on there and do our thing. So go check it out. Less Than 2000, Greenlit Podcast Network. Thanks.
With a purposeful grimace and a terrible smile, join Nikki and Wyatt as we stomp our way through the history of Toho's Dai Kaiju films in Discuss All Monsters.
Are you telling me we're going to discuss all monsters?
We won't stop until there isn't a monster left to discuss. Smash that play button like Godzilla and King Kong smash an 18th century Japanese pagoda.
Only on the Greenlit Podcast Network.
All right, Chris, let's go to where you've already been.
I'm dejected.
I just deflated Chris.
I was really looking forward to using
Doc.
Doc.
You know what? You don't have to use Doc now. You can use Skelly and Elmo, whoever else we're going to get in this game.
In my case, we enter the second screen. In your case, what, the fifth screen?
Fourth
screen. Okay, so we enter here, and it's a theater area.
It's a balcony.
Everyone pauses and asks Serge if he's sensing something. And then we see a little girl in a white tutu playing on some sort of machine-like centerpiece.
Yeah, it's in the center. I can't tell if it's a fountain or a ride or like a future chandelier that came crashing down.
Actually, you know what? You're probably right. It's probably a chandelier because once we start exploring, we find out that the stage of this theater is in the northern portion of it, so that would make the most sense. No one else saw this little girl, though, so this is something that only Serge/Lynx is seeing.
The girl also does like a sinister laugh.
Oh, I missed that.
and then it leaps into the ether and disappears.
Yes. The girl has blonde hair, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
More on that later. The enemy here. Tragedienne.
Yes, like Raggedy Ann, but tragedy.
Yeah, great. What would you call these things?
Zombie ladies with long gray hair and red dresses. They also have black faces and red eyes, and they're constantly falling backward before catching themselves.
Yeah, they kind of look like puppets a little bit.
Yeah.
And like one of the strings is broken.
Marionette type
yeah,
thing.
yeah, marionette. That's what I was looking for. These things have dialogue at the beginning of the screen which announce which element is their specialty in their name.
This dialogue to me, which Chris is about to read, was the product of a late night.
Yes, I guess so. It would be interesting to know what this was originally. If it was the same or if it was different.
We fight them on the stage that's up front. It's the center of the area. It's a forest backdrop in the background. There are theater lights overhead.
Yes.
Chris, hit me with what they say.
Okay.
Because when you fight them, they have to introduce themselves before every single battle.
There are two parts to what they say. There is their introduction and their element. So those are randomized, though, in terms of what they're matched to.
Right.
So I'm going to read the name introductions and then the element introductions. Okay, ready?
Let's do it.
The first one, nice to meet you. Yo, I'm Amanda, and I am 14 years old.
I mean, little kids often tell you their age for some reason. That tracks.
I guess. Strangely enough, Amanda does not call out her zodiac sign, which a lot of the other ones do. The next one, I'm Renata, and I am a 25-year-old Aries. I'm mobile. I'm 16, and I'm a Taurus. My name is Shannon. I'm a 14-year-old Gemini. Hi, I'm Gemma. I'm 10, and I'm a Cancer. Andrea is my name. I'm 14, and my star sign is Leo. Hello, I am Marianella. I'm a Virgo, and I'm 15. Tina here. I'm 16, and I'm a Libra. Hola, soy Ariana. Tengo, I don't know how to say 17 in Spanish. 17 años. Soy del signo Escorpio. I deeply apologize for my butchering of the language. It's a beautiful language.
Initializing fake net.
Let me try.
Hola, soy Ariana. Tengo 17 años. Mi signo es Escorpio.
Next one. I am Mary Joanna. I am Mary Jana. It looks like marijuana. Hi, I'm Marijuana. I am a 25-year-old Sagittarius. I am Jorian. I am 14. I'm a Capricorn. Hi, I'm Valentini. I am Aquarius. I'm 15. Petra the Pisces here. I'm 16. I love tall, dark boys. Hi, Luz is the name and love is the game. And if it matters, I'm 17.
I could equally believe you're just doing a free thought association exercise right now.
I should have put some fake ones in here, but I didn't. These are all real. Next one. I'm Carolina and I'm 10. When I grew up, I went to be Miss Universe. I'm Cynthia. I'm 15 years of age and a vegetarian. I'm Richard. I'm 29. And I'm here to protest beauty pageant sexism. Eric, I think you have a theory on this one?
Yes, because I Googled a long time to figure out how old Richard Honeywood was during this, but 29 sounds about right. Mm-hmm. And this is a beauty pageant type thing that he's clearly, that in my opinion, he is editorializing to comment on beauty pageant sexism.
Yes.
Because why would one be named Richard?
Yeah, there's no reason. So next I have the announcements of the elements that these guys have. My hobby is poison gas. My favorite pastime is volcanoes. My ambition is to cure plus. I like to suck blood.
Hold on. With I like to suck blood, it says I like to suck, and then it pauses, and then blood.
Yeah, I was wondering if something was wrong when that happened, but then I got this one twice, and I was like, oh.
No, they're definitely preverts.
That's weird. I do a mean tornado. My future goal is to fireball. My proudest accomplishment is the black hole. My favorite sport is the aqua beam. I love to sing in the black rain. My specialty is recover all. And that's all for that section of
you
this
should
podcast.
Find a way to make both, all of that, the activation phrases for your children.
Yes.
If you repeat those in sequence, they'll go, get the gun. And
yeah. They'll go get the bug out bag.
Yeah.
Get the car.
Start driving the car.
Yeah. So at the top here on the stage, you can get the prop sword.
Yes. What does that do?
It gives Pierre his final tech.
Mm-hmm.
It will be of no use to you or I, but sure, we have it now.
So there's a tree on this stage, too, and we can't go down the tree or the nearby well. Chris, what play were they putting on here? It has to be something of note, right? It can't just be nothing. Was it Sweeney Todd?
I was thinking, there's a sword in a pedestal, so maybe it's Sword and Stone. I don't know if it's a play, but maybe they were doing some sort of Arthurian legend thing.
It's possible.
Maybe. Sweeney Todd.
It's the first play I thought of.
Okay, I think,
I'm not a fan of the theater, Chris.
It's good. It's fine. It's fine. It could be good. So, On the next screen, it appears we have reached Solaris, Eden of Heaven. It's a futuristic junk bridge.
A bunch of vents form a crude path to yet another circular piece of machinery. It looks like some kind of crashed VTOL craft.
Mm-hmm.
Irene's asked what this thing is doing here since we're indoors, you know. Lynx approaches the thing in the center and sees that the ghost girl on the walkway again.
Yes.
She runs off to the east side, then disappears. There's a seal all by where she exited stage right.
Yes, this little girl had purple hair. Wonder what's going on here.
You can climb up on the wings to exit into a doorway of white-violet light.
Yes. Did your party members, were they unable to believe this shit, by the way?
Yes, no one can believe this shit.
Okay. I wrote down Norris and Zappa can't believe this shit, so I wanted to make sure that was the case.
So that's kind of a quick a quick screen. It's like a one-shot path. Stuff's getting more crashed and more amalgamated parts.
Yeah.
As we go on.
Next screen, we are ascending the stairs of maybe some ruins or something. Looks kind of like that.
Yeah, but it's heavily populated, Chris.
Yes, there are people everywhere.
Ghosts.
At my first glance, I noticed Karsh, Marcy, Zoa, Riddell, Glenn, and Viper.
Yeah, it took me a while I was like, who are these people? And then I noticed Karsh, then I figured that was the rest of the dragoons.
Yeah. It appears all these people are kind of in this weird translucent ghost form. Maybe they're frozen in time. This must be where all these people disappeared.
I mean, there's like that black hole shit where if I were to throw you in a black hole, I would still see your image there, even though you'd been dematerialized, right?
Yeah, that's true. I guess. Maybe.
Black hole technology.
Yes. So there's some unique dialogue here.
Okay.
Depending on if you have who you brought here.
Initializing ChrisNet.
So if you have Zappa, which I did, Zappa says, Arch! What's going on here? Karsh, is that you, lad? I don't believe this.
Oh, that's his son.
Yeah. If you have Radius, what in heaven's name is going on here? General, Miss Riddell, and Glenn, and the other dragoons, what could have happened here? Norris says, these are the Acacia dragoons who disappeared 3 years ago. What went on here? He stutters. That was me. That wasn't just me. Harley also has a line here. Did you have Harley with you here?
No.
Okay. She says, it is unfortunate, but it appears they were held captive before they died. It is too late. They are so close, yet so far, no one can help them.
Do we ever figure out what happened here? Because we don't right now.
No, I don't think so. I think the implication here is that they made it this far, and then something happened.
All right. Like, clearly they fucked up, but I don't know.
Yeah. And then a third child appears. This boy has a radical haircut, but in this ghost form, does not appear to be healthy.
Mm-mm.
The child disappears in the portal above. He's got a spiky hair. It's Chrono, Eric.
Yeah, I like, my note was, as I go down the swirling purple void path, a kid appears who I swear is Polygon Chrono, the main character of Chrono Trigger.
Yeah. Do you know how gut-wrenching this was for me the first time I played it?
See that teased?
Yeah, to see that and being like, oh my God, it's all coming together. What happened? Why are they here? This was a very churning moment. I think it still works, actually. I really do like this moment.
Irene, like Starkey asked what was wrong, and then Irene tells me, the boy who is now a cat, that I've been acting strange recently. And like, of course.
Yeah. Weird. So then we go through the portal. There's no bad guys or treasure chests here at all, I don't think. This is all exposition.
Yes, now we're on the 7th screen.
7th, yes, through a portal. This appears to be different. The architecture is in shambles, but it's not like a weird amalgamation of lots of different things. This is an actual place.
It's a preserved zone.
Yes.
As we enter, Starkey is surprised to find a sunset, and suddenly I, Eric, the player, am aghast at what is about to happen.
Yes.
This is it, Chris.
Yes, this is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
This is the source of all the pain the first time around, the emphysema opium fight of this video game.
Yeah, that's true. This entire scene is soaked in a sunset. And obviously it's not real-time lighting or anything like that. There's no ray tracing going on here, but it is very nice looking.
I want to say it's the exact same pre-rendered background from Cape Howe.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Just reinserted here.
Yeah.
But it is lit to be a perfect dusk.
Yes. Norris makes a note here, and I think this is a generic line. He says, it appears that the dimension itself is more unstable here than anywhere else. It's a time and space within a structure completely different from anywhere else. And as we approach the town square, there's like a fountain kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
And the three children gather and stare at us and then walk away. It is very obviously the three of the main characters from Chrono Trigger, Chrono, Marl, and Luca.
They stare at our party for a moment before going off screen.
Yes.
There's also a hellbound element and a screwy dress over here.
Yes. Oh, yeah, screwy dress. I think that's a pretty good item for female characters.
Did you walk through the middle right corner to the strange gazebo?
I don't think so.
Well, I walked in there and it was the Enertron.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot to note that. It is the Enertron, which I guess I take back when I say this isn't a weird amalgamation because the Enertron is from 2300 AD, and we're going to find out this is not 2300 AD, so... Or maybe it is.
Well, there's a sign in front of it, almost like it's part of a museum and not a functioning unit.
Yeah.
Kind of like, in that flashback, didn't Serge's father, Wazuki, and his companion, weren't they in kind of a museum-type area that we didn't see here?
Yeah, I think
even though they were definitely here?
Yeah, we haven't seen that flashback yet, but yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where that was in the timeline. So you can actually go in this thing, and it says, will you rest in the Enertron?
Yes.
No and yes. Of course you pick yes, Chris. Yes. We all pack in there, and it makes a unique sound effect. Victory music.
Yes.
HP restored.
Enertron joined your party. No.
Status abnormalities removed. But what?
But you're still hungry.
Fuck yeah.
Which is one of the great callbacks to Chrono Trigger.
Yes. One that I actually remembered. Thank you.
Yes. Great job, Eric.
Thank you.
So then we move on.
The 8th screen.
Yes. It becomes clearer and clearer who these children are because we walk to the center and there is a bell that has fallen from the monument that it was hanging on. And there's a small engraving in front of it. Lynx crouches down to read it. It says AD 1000, Nadia's bell. May our prayers for peace ring on for eternity. And 2 notes here. Obviously, 1000 AD is a very important time because that was the timeline that Chrono was from. And Nadia was Marl's real name. That was her princess name, for lack of a better term. So I think this bell was commissioned, or what's the word when they...
Dedicated?
Dedicated.
Perhaps in the ending of the game. I can't remember precisely, but yes.
Chris kind of undersold the entrance. Chrono is here atop the bell tower, and he's playfully kicking his feet.
Yeah, that's true.
The bell has fallen toward the ground. Ghosts of Luca and that one other girl I can't remember walk around the area.
Yeah.
In the distance is the gorgeous sunset falling over a horizon loaded with Arizona's architecture.
Okay.
I, a regally dressed cat man, am in a derelict courtyard with an alien from another planet and a hovering mermaid.
Yes.
Some of the cast of Chrono Trigger is here and their children. This has to be a real mindfuck if it's the year 2000
yes.
and you're 18 and you're Chris.
Yes, I can confirm. This is when the music starts.
Oh, my next question was Chris, who is Nadia, but you explained that. And yes, we get Prisoners of Fate starts to play.
Bound by Fate starts to play.
Mm-hmm.
This is the slow, sad music that sucks all hope out of the room, I think, as you could say. And this music will play throughout this next entire sequence.
But Nadia's bell will never be heard again.
Yes, the children are yelling at us.
But you're still hungry.
Yes. Never. We know. Everyone worked to save the planet's future for nothing. It's all because of you. You killed it. You. So many lives were supposed to be saved. This planet was to be healed with love, hope, and dreams.
All right, Chris, so flashback with me.
Yes.
When you were playing this, did you feel that this was these kids saying this to you, the protagonist, or did you immediately suspect something was up and these are some like cruel projections?
I think I thought their statements were linked to the existence of Surge, which I think is actually the case.
Yes.
Like they're very obviously they're either yelling at Surge or they're yelling at the player yourself for playing this game.
The protagonist who we are, the actual consciousness, has not done anything wrong.
Yeah.
Yet, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas, clearly there's an impersonator waddling around, and I think if you're a superficial ethereal being, you should be able to recognize that. But
yeah.
Also, what happened to the kids? We don't know.
Yeah, they appear to be dead.
Dead.
Yeah, but also they're kids. Like, so it's weird. There's very obviously some timeline splitting things have gone on here that have caused the ending of Chrono Trigger to be moot.
So the girl in the white dress, what's her name, Chris?
That's Marl.
She phases behind us. She grabs the side of her face and says, "How could you? How could you do such a thing? It's all your fault, and the world is going to end like this. It's all your fault, Surge.
Yes.
Murderer."
Yes, I believe that murderer is screamed by Chrono. At least that's the way it is in the script.
Yeah.
Which is weird because he's a silent protagonist.
Yeah,
but I guess he only talks if
you're a murderer.
If you're a murderer, or if he's not your avatar. Anyway, Norris can't believe this shit. And he wants to know who these children are.
In mine, Irene's comforted me and said, "Dude, this isn't your fault."
Oh, yeah. I think that happened with mine too, yeah.
Sure, but yeah, then someone emerges like from behind an angle, like a concealed angle behind the bell tower.
Yeah, it's a bucket hat fisherman. He's emerged from behind the monument like Snoop Dogg and Half Baked.
It's too bad, man. I just stopped smoking yesterday.
He tells us not to worry, that those children are just an echo from a distant past. He calls this place Time Crash Zero.
It's just an illusion.
Tower of Gedon. Yeah. This motherfucker is Miguel.
Yes. He's a man in orange pants, a Gilligan's Island hat, white shirt, and suspenders. His portrait reveals a generic explorer guy visage with tiny spectacles. He immediately says some wild shit.
Yes.
Miguel is Lena's father, right?
Yes, we knew that from the Marge flashback, I think.
Okay.
He then greets us with a flashback, right?
Welcome to the Tower of Gedon.
Yes. Time Crash 0. So now we are seeing a flashback where Miguel and Wazuki, that's Serge's father, with
14 years ago.
Yes, and it appears that Wazuki is carrying Serge on his back.
Yes, it took me a while to realize that, but Serge is definitely on it. Why you take your kid on a fishing trip to the Dead Sea, I'm not entirely sure. That's some poor parental decisions.
Yeah, it's not great. From my perception, it looked like Miguel and Wazuki arrived at the Dead Sea area before it was destroyed.
That, or I think there's maybe multiple exploration points here, and we only found some of them.
Yeah.
Because they're in a place we never go to. They're in a museum.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's a sculpture in this museum at the very front of with a human with its arm stretched out to the side.
Yeah.
There are also 2 parallel rooms off to the side, each with artifacts on display. Wazuki speaks, wondering where they are. Miguel doesn't know, but he concludes they're not supposed to know about it. Then there's text on screen. Quote, that child, that wounded child.
Yes.
Bring him to me. What's this, Chris?
My guess is the Frozen Flame.
Okay.
Beckoning them to come. Because we know the Frozen Flame is probably here, and we know that Serge has to be linked to some sort of...
Linked to
some sort of powerful entity, and the only powerful entity that we know about right now is the Frozen Flame. So I'm going to assume this thing is the Frozen Flame that beckoned Wazuki to bring Serge to him.
So it appears only Miguel heard this, because Wazuki no-sells it. Wazuki walks forward in the structure, stating there's no way they can set sail in the storm. He says they don't have a second to waste, then implies something grave will happen to Serge if they delay. Miguel protests, but Wazuki says, I don't care what lies ahead of us, I'm going.
Yeah.
There's no way I'll allow my son to die without a fight. So Serge is injured or something here?
Yeah, they must have been injured during the expedition, I guess. I guess every motherfucker is an explorer, because we've encountered a lot of explorers throughout this time.
Maybe this is like some kind of frontier type thing?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, that's a good point. Gold Rush type situation.
Wazuki says Miguel should wait for him here and thanks him for coming tonight. Miguel begs him to wait with capital letters, then runs off to catch him.
Yeah.
Then we go to the Sunset Bell Tower. We're back. Miguel states that he has been here for 14 years.
Yes.
It wasn't like this when I got here, though. An incident that occurred 10 years ago transformed it into the Dead Sea.
Do we have any indication of what happened 10 years ago?
There's 10 years ago and 14 years ago, and I can't quite remember.
Yeah, and there's also 3 years ago.
So Miguel was here for 4 years before this shit happened?
Yeah.
Maybe since he was in this one area, that's why it's kind of cleanly preserved.
Maybe it has something to do with the various machinations of links.
The links thing?
Yes, all that kind of stuff. He then goes on to say, don't you know, there's nothing in the world as ruthless or as impartial as death. All living matter ages over time and eventually dies, no matter how mighty or tiny its life force. So being alive means you're creeping closer to death with every second. And he's very obviously talking about the inevitability of death here. And
organic decay.
We know from some of the game's subtext and by the nature of playing this game before that this game deals with the context of fate and alternate destinies, but here Miguel, he's only talking about inevitability. The nature of being alive means that you will experience death at some point. That he's only going that far at this point in time. I would describe Miguel as a deliverer of thematics in this game. Mm-hmm. I think he's the one that's going to put it all right on the nose, whereas it's kind of been subtext up to this point. He then goes on and says,
but there's none of that here. No one and nothing ages, nothing wastes away. The quiet, boundless, and beautiful world, an ideal world straight out of a fairy tale, isn't it? A place and time that belongs to no one. Res nullius, which I believe is Latin. FakeNet, what's that mean?
Initializing FakeNet.
That translates to, it, no, which doesn't make much sense, but it's basically a Roman law that designates property that cannot have an owner.
Miguel then stops talking to us and walks out of the balcony, occasionally extending his arms and continues his soliloquy.
Yes. The note I have here is more wank-ass Latin terms, because I think we got that with the angels lose their way stuff. And I have no idea why they put that there. I guess to sound important, but it just sounds kind of weird.
So Miguel just set up a premise, and now he's reaching the product. It's because this is a future that was eliminated.
Yes.
History is composed of choices and divergences. Each choice you make creates a new world and brings forth a new future. But at the same time, you're eliminating a different future with choices you didn't make. A future denied of all existence because of a change in the past. A future that was destroyed even before it was born rests here, condensed into the Dead Sea.
This is the kind of thing that we saw early on in the game where it's like, the one guy decided not to be a man of the sea, therefore he started worshiping Mojo.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
the
path.
The choices that you didn't make
So it's a
create
little.
alternate destinies.
My immediate thought is my dude has been here too long.
Yeah, that too.
Like he's basically referencing the many worlds theory.
Yeah, he's dealing in this like quantum currency here, where he's deciding to tell us all of these rather grim things for a reason, but at this point it seems kind of pointless. It seems like he's just waxing philosophical here.
If you want to play a game that handles this with more articulation and in more literal terms, play Soma.
Yes, sure. I haven't played that, but I agree with Eric, probably.
Yep.
The death of Surge is the divergence point with these two timelines, but we're not certain why it's so important here. But he's kind of getting at that. He's saying that the divergence of every choice appears here at the Dead Sea. Like whenever a choice was made and the timeline diverged, I guess in a major way, it appears here in the Dead Sea. But also, there's two realities that we were able to hop between. So, like, why isn't we're able to hop between one reality and the other reality? How come another world didn't crash into the Dead Sea? You know what I mean?
Don't ask these questions.
Yeah, that seems inconsistent.
We just
to
know
me.
where reality is and how we have to go to it.
Let's go.
Darky interjects. He asks how any of this shit's possible.
Yeah, after we collectively cannot believe this shit, I think Miguel goes even harder into the most melancholiest shit ever, I guess.
The infinite sadness.
Yes.
He says, fate. Our lives are governed by fate. Fate knows all and controls all. No one can run from fate. Even your presence here was predestined long, long ago. Wouldn't you all like to become one with this world? To be part of eternity? How about it, Surge? You need no longer struggle alone, nor fear an uncertain tomorrow.
Yeah.
The second half of this, he went full cult leader.
Yeah, this is full villain. He's gone full villain. This line makes me wonder if Miguel is simply an envoy of some other bad guy, of some other overarching entity.
Because I think he's been here too long.
Yeah, well, that's true. I didn't think about that angle, but he's either been here too long or he's not representing himself.
Dude, imagine if you're by yourself for 10 to 14 years, you've stopped aging, ghosts from Chrono Trigger sometimes appear, and you can't ever make it not sunset. You're going to start reaching some pretty sharp conclusions.
Yeah, that's true. Then you're given a choice.
Well, what do you say?
I accept.
I refuse.
I don't know what I'm accepting.
I refuse, and Miguel shakes his head.
Yeah.
He says, I don't know, with this next dialogue, do you have I see with the way it starts?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it's the same response.
Yeah. I see, I guess there's only one thing left to do then. I take it you're trying to restore the dimensional distortion? If you defeat me and liberate this place, the distortion will return to the way it was. Maybe actually, I just answered my own question. Another world. We're trying to get back to another world at this point in time. We can't because the portal isn't there on Alpasa Beach anymore. And I just wondered why another world isn't crashed into the Dead Sea.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it has crashed into the Dead Sea, and Miguel can somehow liberate it if we defeat him in combat.
So then he continues, I guess this is it. Just as there are times of peace, there are times of war. You don't have to hold back. Attack me with all your soul if you wish to live. Let fate take its course.
Sick, dude. Sick line, dude.
So I think it would be really, like, I understand he has to tell the truth here.
Yeah.
But I think it would be even better if he was full of shit.
Yeah.
And had just been here forever, and this was just like I know it has to be an important part of the story, and it's a great part of the game, but if this guy was just off kilter,
yeah,
like a weird diversion, that's more of like a Fallout or Skyrim type thing.
Yeah,
honestly.
And the fact that the music is still playing here, Bound by Fate.
Yep. Prisoners of Fate.
The song wants you to feel melancholy. Miguel wants you to feel melancholy, and therefore I am brought to think that I should take Miguel at face value.
Yes, I'm your zero.
Yes.
So boss fight Miguel. And I thought I was going to smoke this dude because he looks very unassuming.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is the hardest fight of this video game.
Yeah, the music continues, by the way. Bound by Fate continues to play. So it begins, it's a sad battle. And I think we've noted in our previous podcast that we like sad battles. Remember Emeralda?
Mm-hmm.
That was a great battle. And the music
June Mermaid.
Change. Yeah, right. June Mermaid, thank you. Yes, and you're right. This battle was absolutely confounding when I was a teenager.
I couldn't believe this shit.
Yes, I lost this battle so many fucking times as a kid. And I remember being stuck here forever and seeing that same scene over and over and over again.
You have to button through these scenes every single time when you play this stuff.
I guess it would have been smart to run away and save it and go back, but maybe I didn't realize you could do that at this point in time. I have a new strategy.
Oh, yeah?
This time, as an adult.
What's it called, Chris?
As a fully trained adult. I just discovered.
Fully trained.
I just discovered the strategy. Actually, I got the strategy from the FAQ.
Uh-huh.
There's a black element called Diminish. Have you used this?
A couple times, yeah.
Yeah, it halves all elemental damage across the board. So
temporarily, though.
Yes, all of Miguel's strong attacks are elemental. So I use the technique called Diminish plus Space Gun plus 99/strength Zappa beat ass tactic. And just focused on getting good physicals. Just used things to buff my physical attacks and lower elemental damage. I think I had 2 or 3 diminishes equipped.
So stack? Oh, so you can cast it multiple times?
Yeah, I was able to keep it up and just beat his ass with the Space Gun.
It's like level 6, though, right? Like, it's a pretty hefty element.
Yeah.
It's funny that he casts Strong Minded as an elemental defense because I don't care because all my physical attacks are just beating his ass.
Yeah, and his, I guess we should note that despite his appearance, he's cool as shit because his strongest tech is called Holy Dragon Sword.
Dude.
Yeah.
He pulls this thing out of nowhere. It's a sword that, engulfs in white energy, and then he just unloads on you with this thing.
Yeah, this is like
he one-shotted Lynx in this.
Yeah, this is a one-shot kill if you don't use Diminish, or if you're not defending, or if you're just...
And we've only got 2 revives. That's not a viable thing to just keep reviving your characters. When he's low on health, he starts casting Meteor Shower and Holy Light, and MF, you can bet I trapped that Holy Light.
Eric, you're the trap master, by the way.
Thank you.
I've only trapped a couple things.
Trapping's great because it also neutralizes the attack. It takes it out of his game.
I didn't consider that. That makes that actually gives you a tactical advantage. That's really cool.
I felt like an advanced, sufficient adult after I won.
Yeah, me too. Did you win in one try?
Yes.
So did I. I beat his ass with physical attacks, basically, and I occasionally used black elements on him, but that was about it. I just used physical attacks.
Yeah, it honestly wasn't that bad. I think I had a harder battle against the thing with the goober pants at the Fort Dragonium.
Yeah, it's true. The goober pants. The one thing about using elements is that if you expand all of your physical attacks and then use an element right at the end when your stamina is down to like 1, then your stamina will go down into the negative range from using the element. If you're not doing that, you get more attacks.
Yeah.
And you can beat ass more. And so my technique happened to work very, very well for Miguel.
So we beat him, we get the 26 star and a Dreamer's Scarf, and then we're back at the Bell Tower.
Yes, the Dreamer's Scarf is good, but I can't remember what it does.
Miguel, Fake Net, what's it do?
Initializing fake net.
It starts you off in battle with your element power level increased by 1.
Miguel, what's it do?
I don't know because I am dead.
Post-battle, Miguel is laid out.
Yes, he is fucked up, man.
Yes. Despite, this is my favorite part of the game and thus far, because despite just telling us that we can't do shit about anything, he now tells us that maybe you can do shit about something.
Yes.
Maybe this is a semblance of his true self and not whatever bad guy he was channeling before.
Knowing fate, he had to manipulate you into doing this. Sever his mortal coil.
I guess. He says, well done, that's the way, Surge. You have grown strong. Maybe, just maybe, you and your friends have the power to defeat fate, all caps.
All caps.
All caps.
And build a new future for humanity. Eric, fate in all caps.
All caps.
Is a proper noun now.
Mm-hmm.
That must be the entity that is controlling Miguel and maybe whatever else is at play here. So can we pause for just a moment and try to figure out what the fuck is going on here thematically? Are we...
beat the evil out of him.
Are the thematics here, you can't do shit about anything, or you can't do shit about anything, but you should try because maybe you can make it?
The thematics here are we can't find a great way to portray fate, so we're going to make it a literal entity.
Very, very well done.
So it's Terminator logic, right?
Yeah.
The future, but what we make, or the future is unwritten, or the future has to happen anyway.
Yes, the future refused to change.
Fucking time travel.
Miguel says, the Dead Sea is the true form of this planet's future. That's right. At one stage, our world was on the verge of such inevitable destruction. That was 1999, when the parasitical alien life form known as Lavos awoke after centuries of feeding off this planet. Lavos fell from the heavens a countless number of years ago and burrowed deep beneath the surface to eat and sleep, which is basically everything I just fucking said earlier.
Hibernation.
But now they're giving you this lore just in case you didn't play Chrono Trigger.
Slowly but deliberately, Lavos devoured our planet from the inside out, waiting for the time to ripen for its true awakening. Lavos is not gendered. Finally, Lavos did awake and manifested its true form on the surface of the planet, Chris.
Yes.
That's when our world faced death from which there seemed no possibility of escape.
Yes, the Y2K bug.
Were it not for the teenage boy and his group of adventurer friends, that is.
Mm-hmm.
These young heroes, Chris, caught a glimpse of this planet's future destruction as it appeared in the year 2300. They realized they could not turn their backs on our planet. They summoned Captain Planet.
Yes.
Made that part up. Even if its death would not be anywhere near their lifetime. Time traveling from epoch to epoch with an epoch, they battled Lavos for the future of our planet and eventually won. But in saving our planet from the death Lavos is going to bring about, they also changed the course of history.
Yeah, I guess that's why all this shit is here. This is, of course, a reference all to the entire plot of Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Thank you, spoilers. We're slowly beginning to understand what this game is doing. It is unmaking the legacy of the Chrono Trigger protagonist. This hurts me as a young child boy of age 18. This game from this point on is, I guess, basically asking is whether or not we can do anything about the deconstruction of the Chrono Trigger legacy. Is it fate, Eric, or is it just inevitability? Is the sun going to explode every 22 minutes, or can we stop it? Then the kids chime in.
Luca fades in first. She says, at this very moment, this whole future time axis ceased to exist. Call it cause and effect. It is just a problem of possibilities. After all, in this world, there are no such things as absolutes or certainties. Then Marl fades in?
Yes, but the future that was supposed to have disappeared is about to be restored here. The future destruction of our planet, which is a loaded term, is going to become a reality in this world again. Then I guess this last one's Chrono.
Chrono fades in and speaks.
Yes, again. Previously, he has been credited with one word, murderer, and I think he speaks in one of the New Game Plus endings, but it's kind of a joke ending, so I don't count it. So, go ahead.
The vengeance of the future we killed is about to begin, with Surge serving as the trigger. This game is giving it all to you right now,
Trigger.
Chris.
Yeah, it's giving us everything. Instead of giving us an entire disc of exposition, it's giving us all of it now. In essence, the kids are saying that their actions have been undone by the actions or the existence of Surge. We don't know if Surge did something or if it's just the fact that he existed or that Wazuki did something during that section to cause all this to be unmade. It's hard to say at this point in time. He did use the word trigger, though, so weird, huh?
Miguel then speaks, perhaps or perhaps not. Either way, it is all part of the grand game of the gods. And goddesses...
Yeah, why does he put goddesses in quotes there?
Because he's bleeding out.
Because he's bleeding out. I think he's making a reference to something that perhaps there is a lady around here that's beyond the dragon gods. The dragon gods are the demiurges. The lady is the real god. The way of existence. Carry on.
People are dragged into playing this game, Chrono Cross.
Yes.
Forced to put their own lives on the line, even without knowing the rules, without even being allowed to complain. They try to do their best under the conditions placed upon them. The only alternative is to give up and leave the playing field in a forfeit.
In a way, Eric, we are dragging people into playing this game because we're doing this podcast, and people who like to listen to our podcast are playing this game along with us.
It's the power of the pod.
Therefore, we are fate. We are your fate. We are your destiny. Only listen to us. No, don't do that.
FateNet.
Yes.
3 years ago, members of the Acacia Dragoons from Termina visited here. Those knights were after the Frozen Flame, of course, but instead they became salt for the Dead Sea. Fucking badass.
Yes.
That's so awesome.
Yes.
You see, only the Chosen One can approach the flame. It looks like Fate has made its decision and has started to carry it out now. Fate doesn't want the Frozen Flame to awaken in this place at this time. It would choose to destroy the flame along with the whole Dead Sea, then allow its enemies to take hold of the flame.
This seals it right here. It's like, yeah, fate is an actual entity that is governing the events of this game. It's the bad guy.
This future is about to disappear into the darkness beyond dimensions again. You have no time to spare. You must leave here immediately. Quick, go.
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 Salt for the Dead Sea.
Salt for the Dead Sea, Eric.
God, that's good.
Yeah, so good. You can float in it.
Earthquake noises.
Yes.
Shit starts going down. Chrono kids all phase in above Miguel.
Some text appears on the screen. It says, I love you so much. That is why I sometimes desire to smash you to bits.
Man. Sweet and sour, right?
So who's saying that?
I have no idea.
I looked it up on in the script, and this is not official. This was done by text dump and fans cleaning it up.
Tragedienne.
And me putting it in an Excel file because I'm weird. But that's credited to Fate itself. Fate is saying that.
Oh, is Fate the white text the whole time?
Yes, maybe. I guess so. That's the one that was talking to Radius, I guess. Who knows? Farewell,
I mean, that's a real, like, bipolar, I love you so much, now I need to kill you.
Yeah.
Like, do they love the fact that we're here so they can kill it? Like, what?
Maybe that was a deleted line from Xenogears and Kato wanted to use it.
Okay.
Farewell. Who would have said that in Xenogears?
Emeralda.
Groff?
Groff isn't capable of love after the incident.
Krelian's capable of love.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Krelian says that when he beckons Ellie to the Chuchu crucifixion. Thank you.
I love you so much. That is why I sometimes desire to smash you to bits.
Please see Season 1. Then Miguel says, farewell, Surge. The future is yours for the taking. Even though Miguel just said it's not. You, the one that the Frozen Flame has chosen.
My dear Lena, may you live for a happier tomorrow. Also, I'm running off, but it's funny that we're leaving Miguel, Lena's dad, who I have just beat the shit out of and have left for dead.
Yeah.
Like, can we take, you want to come?
Yeah, Miguel joins your party. Victory music. No.
So then, as we walk away, he addresses Lena, wishing her to live a happier tomorrow. Miguel then collapses and Yoda fades away.
Yes, goodbye.
What was my dude doing here, Chris?
Miguel?
Was he the knight from Last Crusade?
Yeah, he was there to deliver the lore.
Okay.
I think he was an envoy of fate. He was there to execute the plan that fate had put into play. And I guess that plan means that Surge was supposed to end up here. And remember that Surge was... Do you remember the reason that we're even here?
The game, so we had to go here next.
Yeah, well, Lynx is the one that told us to meet him here. He told us to meet him at the... I think he may have said to meet him at the Sea of Eden, but we came to the Dead Sea.
We fucked up.
That's the only one that we could come to at this point in time. So Lynx is probably a pawn in this scenario as well, if you want to call him that.
So as we start to leave, Irene states that we're not going to make it.
Nope.
And we're not, because it's the end of the episode.
Yeah, a giant-ass white dragon comes and saves our asses.
Spoilers, Chris.
Calls the Son of Man. Then the podcast is over. Pick up there next time on this episode. Probably the longest Chrono Cross episode that we've done.
Chrono Cross.
Hey, Eric, let's check in with the real net.
All right.
Initializing real net.
Quiztacular says, sucks when you get old and your left ass hurts.
Yeah. When you go to churchshares.com, get some better material.
Alter Impulse says, I think once you get past 35, your butt hurt by default.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah. Anonymous says, a future without fake net is a shitty future. I agree.
Thank you.
We're in the bad future, Chris. There is no real fake net. I actually bought the official guide.
You mean like recently? Or
about a month ago.
Oh, cool. Let's see here.
I haven't been using it, but I have it.
Yeah. Well, good job.
It was like Square's last guide that came out before their Play Online shit.
God, their Play
Where there were URLs and books.
That Play Online shit came out with, like, what, Final Fantasy 9 or something?
9.
Yeah, God, that was so dumb. Quiztacular says, I remember this place being huge as well. I really enjoyed having the world map-like view. It made it seem more expansive. Paired with the music, it seemed really foreboding. Yeah, I remember it being pretty huge as well, but I also thought that it would take longer to get through. It did take longer to make a podcast about it, though. That counts for something. Dante says, it's weird to think about a future world of Chrono Trigger without the doom of Lavos, but with Johnny still racing around.
Yeah, man.
Being an asshole.
That's the dream.
Quiztacular says, Zappa is so slow, though. Yeah, he is slow, but...
Rico looking ass
has got a big-ass hammer.
Isn't it an axe?
He comes to fault with a pretty strong hammer. Mechanic Eyes equals regulatize for Nate Dogg and Warren G, says Quiztacular. Quiztacular says Starkey's the king of lasers.
It's a good business card thing, king of lasers.
Alter Impulse says, but whatever you do for the upcoming fight with Miguel, do not put anyone else in the party with a black element or you'll get your ass wiped out.
That probably was my downfall back then, because I don't think I ever took Harley out of my party.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to have Harley here. Dente makes a good point. Says, man, I understand the need to give us the info to explain what we're seeing and to tie it back to Chrono Trigger, but these data reports are just so ham-fisted from text delivery wise.
There's not many of them, though, right? Just that thing that Norris looks up?
Yeah, but... There was some other... I think there's a lot more later.
It's like a proto-audio log.
Yeah.
Graffiti on the wall.
Dente says mannequeen is a very good pun.
It's pretty good. I don't think we took time to appreciate that, actually.
People making fun of you for not getting Starkey right. Sparky, Starkey, Starkid.
It's corrupted.
Snarky, Morlarky.
Hex added his name in his Sparky.
Dente says somewhere in that mall is a dealership selling Johnny models. I don't know if that's a joke or not. But...
No, that's real now.
Okay.
That's the course of fate we've chosen is push that into existence.
Here's Alter Impulse's Miguel strategy. Ultra Nova Trap and Holy Light Trap. Drop those to stop him from using it. And then use white element characters so you won't get one-shotted by a white attack. And then put your revives on Starkey. Dente says, classic shonen trope. Show someone your will to overcome inevitability by beating ass.
Ding noise.
Ding noise. Dente Razor says, Miguel shows the power of 14 years of boredom and a nice hat.
Yeah, he kept his clothes in pretty good condition for having nothing else to wear. Unless those were also preserved in the temporal paradox.
My friend Dragon Sword says, Son of Man from Tarzan blares when the dragon comes to save the day. I may have already made this joke. I don't remember if you did or not, my friend Dragon Sword. It might be in a previous podcast, who knows. That's all for the RealNet tonight. Thank you, RealNet, for joining us. We'll see you next time. Stay tuned for the many, many outtakes that were in this podcast. This episode is a production of Retrograde Amnesia, recorded on today, October 15th, 2020.
Initializing fake net.
It was actually November 15th. The future refused to change.
Thank you, Mark Shepard, for the intro track.
You're welcome, Chris.
Find us on Twitter at Retro Amnesia Pod. Subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you get your podcasts. More importantly, tell a friend about the podcast if they like Chrono Cross. If not, that'd be weird. Email the show at retrogradeamnesiapodcast@gmail.com. And if you like us, please consider supporting us so we can buy cushions for our asses on patreon.com/retroam. Get early access, bonus episodes, miniseries, and more. There's a lot of good stuff. We work very hard on it.
Retro SM.
Until next time, Eric.
Yes, we will kill God.
And now you may return to your nap. Say podcast. We work very hard. I don't know who was thinking about this shit. It happened. I burped while talking about Miguel. I tweeted that earlier. That would happen if you join the real net.
But we get a mini world map.
Well, hold on a minute.
What?
Hold on. Just a goddamn minute, Eric. Thank you, Eric. What do you think that the budget differential was between these two screens versus, I don't know, 5 minutes of traversal in Last of Us? Probably 7,000% difference, maybe.
I would imagine. Yeah, imagine if you. Yeah, there's some sequences in Last of Us that I would bet cost more than this entire game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here we are. People are dragged.
People are dragged.
Couldn't get a photo of Eric's face right there when I said that. There's also something else. This is a little bit of a off the beaten path, but the Dino King, Azala. Do you remember that character?
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, that was the leader of the Reptites, and you had to beat it in Chrono Trigger. The DS remake genders Azala as female. No other script does it, and then but the Japanese fandom kind of takes that as canon now because it was in that one. So there's a lot of weird back and forth based on how the thing was localized. Immediately the can. No, not the can.
Not the can.
Hola, soy Ariana. Tengo 7.
Dennis Quaid. There's no English in it. It has claymation dinosaurs.
It has claymation dinosaurs?
Yes. It was made in 1982.
No, I've never heard of this.
Basically, Ringo's horny all the time and has to invent like he accidentally breaks somebody's back and he makes cavemen not haunch over anymore so they can walk upright. And then he leads his upright clan against the barbarian clan for the right to have sex with Barbara Bach and Shelley Long.
And why was this movie made?
I don't know.
Okay. You need to be
Trying
comfortable.
To make my life any better.
No, I need you to be comfortable, Eric. I need the best you. I need the best version of you when we do this shit.
Fix my left ass.
Yes.
Hurts.
Just all-purpose regulator?
What did Nate Dogg and Warren G regulate? Thieving of property.
I guess so.
There's also a
high
resistance.
percentage.
Huh?
Go ahead. Tina here. I'm 16. I'm a Libra.